I'm 63 years old. For 40 years, I was the smartest man in every room I entered. I've closed multi-million-dollar deals. I've out-argued the best lawyers in the state, and I have never, not once, let someone else have the last word. Look at this table. It's hand-carved mahogany. It cost more than your first car. But tonight, the only sound in this dining room is the scrape of my fork against a cold plate. I won every argument we ever had. I proved she was wrong about the money, wrong about the kids, wrong about the way she felt. I won the debates, but I lost the woman who used to look at me like I was her hero. Now she looks at me like I'm a stranger she's tired of explaining herself to, or worse, she doesn't look at me at all. They tell you to be alpha. They tell you to lead your household with an iron fist and a logical mind. They lied to you. And if you're sitting there right now thinking you're winning because your wife has finally gone silent, you need to listen very carefully. Don't click away, because your ego is currently building a prison that you're going to spend the rest of your life in. I'm going to tell you the exact moment I realized that being right was the biggest mistake of my life. Let's go back to 1996. I was 36 years old, wearing a power suit that cost more than I should have spent, and driving a black BMW that I washed every Sunday morning. I thought I was the king of the world because I knew how to build a spreadsheet and I knew how to win. I remember one Tuesday night. The rain was drumming against the window, smelling of wet asphalt and old leaves. She wanted to talk about her dream of opening a small art gallery. She'd been painting in the garage for months. I sat there at the head of the table sipping a scotch, and I dismantled her dream in exactly 6 minutes. I used logic. I talked about overhead, market saturation, the lack of a business plan, and the risk to our retirement fund. I was right. Every word I said was factually, mathematically correct. I watched her shoulders drop. I watched her eyes go from spark to ash. And when she finally whispered, "I just wanted you to believe in me," I replied, "Belief doesn't pay the mortgage, Sarah." I walked away feeling like a champion. I had saved us from a bad investment. But what I didn't see was the sound of a door closing deep inside her heart. I didn't notice that from that night on, she stopped showing me her paintings. She stopped humming in the kitchen. She stopped asking for my opinion. I thought she finally got it. I thought I had trained her to be rational. Then there was the argument about the kids. 2005. My son wanted to play guitar. I wanted him in law school. I argued him into a corner until he gave up. I won that one too. I won the argument about where we spent Christmas, how much we spent on groceries, even how she should fold my shirts. I was a professional at being right. Every time I won, a brick was laid. Brick by brick, year by year, I built a wall of perfect logic between me and the people I loved. I was standing on top of that wall, looking down, feeling superior. I didn't realize that the higher the wall got, the colder the air became, and the lonelier it felt, even in a house full of people. I remember the smell of her perfume as she'd pass me in the hallway, sweet, like jasmine, but she never lingered. She just walked past, a ghost in her own home. I thought we were stable. I didn't know we were just silent. I didn't know that silence is the sound of a woman who has already left, even if her body is still standing in your kitchen. Now look at me. I'm 63. I live in a house that looks like it belongs in a magazine. Hardwood floors, granite countertops, a climate-controlled wine cellar. Everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. There's no clutter, no dirty dishes, no noise. I finally have the order I fought for during 30 years of marriage. Half an hour ago, I sent a text to Sarah. Just 3 words. Are you okay? I saw the little bubbles appear and then disappear. Then the word seen. No reply. It's been 3 years since she moved into that small apartment near the coast. 3 years since she decided she'd rather live with less logic and more peace. I'm eating a microwave dinner tonight, high-end, organic, expensive, and tasteless. I remember how I used to criticize her cooking. I'd point out that the steak was overdone by 2 minutes, or that she spent too much on groceries. I was right, wasn't I? Now I'd give every dollar in my bank account to smell her burnt roast chicken again, to hear the clatter of her dropping a spoon, to hear her laugh at a joke I didn't find funny. The silence in this house isn't just quiet. It's heavy. It has a weight that presses against my chest every night at 7 p.m. I turn on the TV just to have a human voice in the room. I scroll through news channels looking for something to be right about, someone to disagree with. But there's no one to hear me. My son calls once a month, brief, polite, distant. He's a lawyer now. I taught him too well how to be correct. I forgot to teach him how to be close. I look across the street, the Millers. He's a mess. His lawn is overgrown. He's probably 10 pounds overweight, and I've seen them argue in the driveway. But you know what? When the sun goes down, I see their shadows through the curtains. They're sitting together. They're sharing a life. He might be wrong half the time, but he's not alone. My ego told me that being right was a form of protection, that if I was always logical, I was invulnerable. It was a lie. My logic was a scalpel, and I used it to perform surgery on my marriage until there was nothing left but parts on a table. I performed a perfect operation, and the patient died. Don't be like me. Don't wait until you're sitting in a $2 million tomb to realize that winning an argument with the person you love is actually the fastest way to lose them forever. I'm the winner of every debate I ever had with Sarah, and I'm the loneliest man I know. Listen to me, son, and listen well. Why do we do it? Why do we, as men, feel this pathological need to be right, even when the person we love is crying right in front of us? It's because we've been fed a lie. We were told that strength is never being wrong. We were told that leadership is dominance. You think you're a leader because you can cite the facts, because you have the data, because your logic is airtight? You're not a leader, you're just a bully with a high IQ. A marriage isn't a courtroom, gentlemen. There are no judges. There are only witnesses. And for 30 years, I made my wife the star witness to my own arrogance. Here's the truth about the male ego. It's a shield that eventually becomes a coffin. We use logic to protect ourselves from feeling vulnerable. If I'm right, I don't have to admit I'm scared. If I'm right, I don't have to say I'm sorry. If I'm right, I don't have to change. But when you win every argument, you're actually just building a throne of ice and wondering why it's so cold. When a woman stops arguing with you, it's not because she finally understands your brilliant point. It's because she has realized that your rightness is more important to you than her heart. She's not agreeing. She's withdrawing. She's packing her bags mentally, even if she doesn't leave for another decade. The day she went silent was the day I lost her. I was just too busy celebrating my victory to notice. In a marriage, if one person wins, the marriage loses every single time. You want to be a man? Realize that being correct is cheap. Being connected is the real work. A real man knows when to kill his ego so his relationship can live. He knows that "I'm sorry, I chose my pride over your feelings" is the most powerful thing he can ever say. Look at your wife tonight, not at her mistakes, not at her lack of logic. Look at the person who decided to walk through life with you. Ask yourself, is being right worth the silence that is coming for you? Is it worth sitting in a $2 million tomb like I am? You're still young enough to fix this. I'm not. My silence is permanent, but yours doesn't have to be. If you're sitting there nodding your head because you recognize yourself in my arrogance, here is what you need to do before the sun goes down on your own life. First, perform an unconditional surrender. Go to her. Don't wait for an argument. Just go to her and say, "I've spent too much time trying to be right and not enough time trying to love you. I'm sorry for choosing my pride over us." Don't explain. Don't justify. Just bleed. Let your ego die so she can breathe again. Second, practice active silence. The next time she says something illogical or something that triggers your need to correct her, shut your mouth. Look at her eyes instead of her grammar. Realize that she isn't looking for a professor. She's looking for a partner. Sometimes the best way to lead is to follow her heart. Third, invest in peace, not power. You've spent your life building a career and a reputation. Great. But at 63, no one remembers your business strategies. They remember how you made them feel. Start investing in feeling correct rather than being correct. Ask her, "How can I make you feel safe today?" instead of telling her why she's wrong to feel unsafe. Because the clock is ticking, gentlemen, and it ticks faster than you think. You think you have time. You think she'll always be there, waiting for you to finally get it. She won't. A woman's heart is a garden. If you keep spraying it with the acid of your logic, eventually nothing will grow there but thorns. I'm the winner. I have the house, the money, and the last word. And I'm going to bed alone in a house that smells like dust and regret. Don't be a winner like me. Be a man who is brave enough to be wrong for the sake of love. I'm 63. I won every argument, and it's the biggest loss of my life. Go to her now before the silence becomes permanent. Choose peace over being right.